Another one.
Day in the life of a UI automation engineer. A manual QA aspiring to be an automation QA. I've been studying Selenium and Java using Maven and TestNG and would be interviewing for an automation role in the near future. I would like to know what your days look like as a UI automation engineer. I'm sure it's a lot more than finding locators and writing simple scripts, unlike what's shown online in the automation lectures. But since I don't have any experience in real-time project for a company, I am unable to visualize this role. Also, any tips on how to showcase slash talk about my automation project in an interview? Well, of course. All right. So let's get to this question, right? This is a very, very good question, and it is right up my alley. So, in today's day and age, I am not. What? Is that right? I am not a UI automation engineer. Do I automate some UI stuff? Some, but my day to day is automating back end stuff, right? Like some serious type of stuff. Automating that, getting that better. But I still do some UI automation, and I did a lot of UI automation in the past. And you've seen me do UI automation in the on some streams, right? So, with that being said, let's get to the answer. Oh my god. We got my main man Andrew in the building. What's good, Andrew? And yes, that's an amazing question. And I'm going to answer it right now. Okay, so and I like the fact that this is very true, right? You do not spend all day finding locators and writing simple scripts, like what's shown in online lectures. The days are different, right? So, and it just depends on because all right. So let's start off like this, right? You're gonna be 99% of the time. You're gonna be in a Scrum team. You're gonna be assigned to a team where you guys are working on a particular part of the software of the company, whatever the case may be. And I don't, depending on how the company is structured, right? You're most likely not just going to be an automation engineer. You're going to be a QA engineer because you're going to be doing manual testing. You're going to be doing QA testing, unless you're maybe an SDET. But like in my roles, I've been like in charge of the whole shebang, right? So depending on the day, right? Because we'll break it down like this. We have days where they're more meeting heavy, right? And if your scrum master and your project manager organizes the days correctly, right? Then you're gonna have some days where you get to like really focus on like the actual development work, and then you're gonna have some days that are focused on meetings, right? You can just count one day that's not gonna get like much of any development done because that would be the day that you do like your sprint reviews, your retrospective, your planning. That's like we call that Scrum Day, right? And then you have days that you have like your refinements where you go over your stories and stuff like that, to make sure they have the right details, to make sure they're pointed correctly, all that stuff, right? Now, so those are like the meeting days, right? Then you have you have days where like you actually get to focus more on the code. So typical day, I'll go to two of them, right? So typical day where I don't have a lot of meetings, we're gonna have stand up. We're going to talk about what we worked on the previous day, what we're planning on working on today, if we have any obstacles. And that's typically a short meeting, usually in the morning, where the team gets together. So that way you can talk about like, okay, what do you plan on testing? What do you plan on automating? Is there any trouble that you have? Is like based on what you did yesterday, was there anything that's preventing you from being able to do your work from today, or that might be preventing you in the near future? You talk about that, right? So that's early in the morning stand up. Then you look at what is in the pipeline, what's being assigned to you, what needs to be worked on, what needs to be tested, and you will get to work on that. Um, depending on the stage that you are, you might be writing a test plan. You might be meeting with developers about what you're going to be testing. You might be seeing what stage that there are in the development process. You might be like writing test plans, writing test cases, all of that, and then you might be updating broken automation tests because maybe some code change, maybe there's some flakiness you need to adjust, things like that, right? Also, almost forgot. You will also have like you have to check the results that failed as well, right? You have to check the results like because if your tests are running on a nightly basis or something like that, you have to check them to see what failed, if anything needs to be updated, right? So there's that, and then like writing new automation. So you might have to you need to write the code to be creating new automation, which includes like what you mentioned about finding locators and scripts and stuff like that. But that's only a part of it, right? It's a big part, but it's a part because you have to be part of the Scrum meetings and everything. So that is pretty much the day. Oh, and then like once you write your code, I mean, and this might take like span across multiple days, but after it's done, you have to create a PR, a pull request to get feedback, to get code review and everything like that, make the necessary adjustments, and then you can merge that into the main branch where the main code runs, and it'll join into the automation pipeline. The days where it's meeting heavy, you will go to there. You have like your sprint review where you can show the stakeholders what you worked on the past 2 weeks. You can talk about some automation. You can talk about the development, how everything came together. In your retros, you talk about how the past sprint went and what you can try for the next sprint to make things better. And then in the planning, you talk about what you bring in the stories to start the next sprint. So that's pretty much how like not a particular day goes, but that's how the overall sprint, which is usually 2 weeks, goes. All right. So hopefully that helped. And oh, real quick about how you can showcase and talk about your automation project. I would say go and check out the video that I created about creating a QA portfolio and how to get that started. Check out the video about using Kiwi test case management system so that you can set that up with Docker and you can start writing some test cases in there and you can bring that up in an interview. So, oh, like I created a QA portfolio. They're gonna be like, oh, what's a QA portfolio? I never heard of that before. And then you can go ahead and you can say, oh, here it is right here and show it to them, all that good stuff, right? So that is how my days are typically look in QA as a whole, which includes comprehensive QA, includes automation, all of that, and includes being part of a Scrum team, right? So hopefully that helps. All right.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.